Yeah, because there's just us two, so we could chat. Right. So all fours, step forward, right leg. We're going to pick up the back leg. So you want to be in that long lunge position. And then circling the hips. So starting off with just a circle. You can put your back knee down if you need to or want to. And then reverse the circle the other way. And then pause, and we'll just take one rotation up to the ceiling. So twisting, opening the chest to the sky. And then releasing back down and step back. Bring the knees down. Reset on the other side. So left foot forward, toes tucking under at the back. Find that long lunge position. And then circling the hips around. And then reversing the circle. And then one rotation up to the sky. Nice and big. And releasing back down. And then bringing ourselves to seated. We're going to come to our, what's it called? Single arm side push up. So toes pulling up to the ceiling, feet and knees pulling together. The hand, obviously the back hand, if I'm going to my left hand's the easiest hand to bring down. The right hand wants to reach across so it's in line. And so you've got that twist through the spine already. The feet tick-tock over. Now you're going to bend that back away. You bend both elbows, but the back elbow is the focus. Ear and front of shoulder towards the mat. Take that top leg back and bend the heel towards your bottom, or bend the knee, heel towards your bottom. Then the leg comes back, you push back up, tick-tock the feet back to vertical, and we go on the other side. So I know you've got this, Nick, so let's make it flow a little bit. And release back up. And your choice, you can go single arm, top arm pulls away with the leg. And for those of you watching on replay, you can tent the fingers so that you're not all on one arm. You've got some support, your choice, or single arm, pulling away. And release. One last time on the other side. And coming back up. I'm just spinning round. So find crab. So we find our nice proud crab. And I'm going to straighten out the right leg. So we're going to do a modified crab reach. So the elbow comes inside the right leg. You're going to lift the hips up. You'll get so far. Then lift the right heel up, which will allow you to lift higher. And then release back down. We're going to add in the reach straight away because I know you can do this. So lift the hips, lift the heel, and then reach the arm overhead, looking down at the bottom hand. Try and lift the hips a little bit higher. And then release back down. So same again. Hips lift, heel lifts, arm reaches overhead, framing the face. You know, just pause there. So because you can play with kind of, if you angle your chest slightly downwards and reach, you'll get more of a stretch down into the back, or you can angle your chest slightly up and lift, which opens the hips even more. So you can play with the angles a little bit and then release back down. And we'll just do one more. Lift the hips, lift the heel. And while you're here, if you want to, you can stay just in this side bend or just explore sort of shifting the chest more towards the floor or a little bit towards the floor. It doesn't go too far. And a little bit towards the ceiling. You just feel the difference. And then release back down. And then we're going to switch legs. So setting back up with the left arm inside the left knee. Toes pointed to the ceiling. Same thing. I'm going to lift the hips up. Then the heel. You come up. Let's add the reaching straight away. Again, you can play with the angles on this side. Find where your tension is and stretch it out. And then release it back down. Same again, one fluid motion. Hips, heel, reach, looking down at the bottom hand. See how high you can get the hips, see how far away you can push the floor, and release. Just to do a couple more. Lift, reaching overhead, and lower, and let's do one more time. Up and reach. And releasing back down. Good, good. Coming over onto knees. Frog and load. So toes together, knees slightly wider than hip distance. Walk the hands away. So we know this one. Pull the floor under you, chin to chest, round the spine. Pick the feet up, squeeze the feet together. Drop the hips towards the floor, lift the chest. Make sure you're squeezing the glutes, and then really find that pushing the floor away to really get the shoulders and chest nice and open and active. Squeeze the feet, squeeze the glutes. And then as we go back, you round the chin to the chest, round the spine back. Toes will come down automatically, and we're back again. This time, let's do it with the skimming the nose along the floor. So keeping the elbows off the floor. And start to come forward. Skim the nose along the floor. Everything else is the same. You come to like a push-up position with the feet lifted, and then push the floor away and come up into your extension. Nicely done. We'll go back rounded. So we'll go back the way we came the first time. So chin to chest, round the spine, and back we go. So same again, pulling the floor towards you, nose grazing, elbows go wide. Come all the way out to our push-up position, elbows in towards the ribs, and then push up into extension, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the feet. Rounded the spine to go back. One last time, scoot the nose across the mat, lift into extension, and then round the spine to take it back. And release and come out of that. I'm going to come just to a straddle position. Doesn't need to be wide. You can choose how wide. It's not necessarily about how wide it is. It's playing with the angles a little bit, so you get different angles in your 90-90. So choose your angle first for your straddle, and then as per, bend the legs slightly, so slide the heels in, and then take the legs to one side into that 90-90-ish position. Scoot the legs back out to straddle, bend, take them over to the other side. Scoot them back out to your straddle, bend, and take them over to the other side. So the more you bend, you could go here, you can go narrower and play with those angles. You could go wide with your straddle, or you can go narrower with your straddle, which takes you into more of a almost a shin box. So you've got choices with your angles, and you just want to try and find again those kind of lines of tension. You know, where does it feel like you're getting the most out of it? You can add in a little forward bend in the middle in your straddle if you wish. Reaching the legs out, taking them into the 90-90, and I'm adding like just a forward bend over that front leg in that 90-90 because it feels nice to stretch out that glute. So no right or wrong. You're really just looking for, again, where are you tight? Where do you need to do a little bit of work and a little bit of wiggling? Do a couple more. And one last time, whichever side that is. And release back out of that. So I'm trying to think of the best way to be. Let's do that. Yeah, okay, let's do it this way. I'm trying to think of angles for you, that's all. So the side kick through, modified side kick through, bend the right, so left leg stays out, bend the right knee in, and the hand coming out to the side. So just as if we were in our side kick through, the leg that's kicking is turned out and the foot is pointed. Other than that, we're going to bring the hand towards the toes and then just pull the elbow back, just so you get that idea of taking the elbow. For me, I always point it to where the ceiling and the wall kind of join. roughly that direction, just to keep it high. Most people kind of drop it, so it keeps nice and high. So you're going to reach for the toes and then pull back on that angle. So let's add that in with the hip lift. So push it down into the foot and the hand, lift the hips up off the floor. You can keep the foot down or you can lift it, but otherwise we're going to reach for the toes and then pull the elbow back. And as I pull the elbow back, I'm allowing my body to twist. So this shoulder is coming forward and then reaching for the toes, the shoulder goes back and then pull, shoulder comes forward, reach for the toes, pull the elbow back and release the hips down. Yeah, good. And then switching sides. So same thing, foot's pointing forward on the bent leg, turned out, toes pointed on the straight leg, elbow down, arm pulling back. So let's lift the hips up. Again, you're going to reach for the toes. You might not get there. And then as you pull the elbow back and high, in my case, this right shoulder is going to come forward. A lot of strength work in the shoulder. And then again, reach for the toes and then pull the elbow high. Reach for the toes and pull the elbow high. Then release it all back down. And we're going to get rid of our mat. Are we going to get rid of it yet? No, hang on to it. Let's hang on to it for a moment. We don't really need to get rid of it for the activations and stuff. It's nice on the wrists. Crab activation. Let's start in crab. So you're finding a nice tight crab to start with. Capital M, shoulder distance and hip distance apart with feet and hands nice and proud, gaze up. And that's where we kind of want to come to. Push the floor away to lift the hips up off the floor, just an inch. And then we're going to lift, let's go left foot. So lift the left foot off the floor just high enough to slide a piece of paper under. Teeny tiny. Everything else stays nice and lifted and release. Right foot just off the floor and release. And then the tough ones are the hands. So when you lift the hand, I'm shrugging the shoulder up. It's only a little because I'm only sliding a piece of paper under the hand. But the idea is the rest of the body stays stable. Replace that hand and then try the other one. Again, little shrug, elbow stays straight. And then release it down. And then we are going to do opposite hand, opposite leg. So right hand, left foot at the same time. Without letting the rest of your body shift. Your right toes are still on the floor, and then lower, and then opposite. So left hand, right foot, my nemesis. And then release. And then whichever under switch you want to do, come to beast. So beast activations, make sure knees are under belly button. In fact, we'll do this properly because I don't usually get the time to do this. So while we're here, let's just do the shoulder blades. So hands are on the mat, obviously, fingers are wide, and the fingertips are gripping the mat like claws. You're not clawing the mat, but you get the idea. There's a little bit of grip there. And then allow the shoulder blades to come together, sinking the chest down towards the floor, and then push the floor away and take the shoulder blades wide. You're not coming up into a cat-cow position. You just want to take the shoulder blades as wide as they'll go. You release down, shoulder blades coming together, and then shoulder blades going wide. And you just want to find the middle ground there. So you don't want to be collapsing to the shoulders, and you don't want to be pushing too far wide. But find a happy medium. And then same with the pelvis. You want a neutral spine. So curl the tailbone under and then release. Curl the tailbone under and then release. Curl and release. And again, you come into that middle ground, whatever that is for you. You're not overly extended, so there's not massive arch in the lower back, and you're not tucking. You just want to be halfway house. Once we've got all that sorted, make sure you're spinning the elbow pits forward, so your shoulders are turning out, and then hover the knees, that inch off the floor. And we're going to hold 3, 2, 1, and release back down. Then we add in the activation. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do feet, then we'll come down, then we'll do hands, and then we'll have a bash at the opposite side. This is truly dreadful. Yeah. All right, so same as before. We'll lift the knees. Right foot just high enough to slide a piece of paper under. 3, 2, 1, lower it down, left foot. 3, 2, 1, and lower it down and lower the knees, just briefly. Hands. I'm not even going to look at you, Nick. Don't you look at me. Let's just not look at each other while we do this. Oh dear, it does get better. That's what I keep telling myself. Right, hover the knees and inch off the floor. It's the same as your crab activation, lifting the right hand. The elbow stays straight. The movement comes from the shoulder. So it's the action of pulling the shoulder blade in. Try and keep the right knee close to the floor and then release. Left hand. Oh, this is my body. Left hand, my body shifts massively and release and then lower the knees. For some people, and it's not me, but for some people, lifting opposite hand and foot in this position is actually easier. So if it's you, I'm going to be extremely jealous because it's not me. All right, so same thing, hover the knees and inch off the floor. And then we go left foot, right hand. Left foot, right hand for 3, 2, 1, and release. Ah, this is my bad one. Right hand, left hand, right foot. 3, 2, 1, and release everything back down. Ah. Shake your wrists out if you need to. Do your wrist relief position if you need to. So that the activations, the act of lifting up one foot and one hand, especially the opposite sides, are so that you can get into the idea of when you do an under switch, the hand and foot should lift at the same time and land at the same time, and the same on the way back. So you've got this idea of lifting everything at the same time. That's the plan. Right, let's do some form specific stretches. Let's start off with our wave unload. So starting off in loaded beast, feet hip distance, knees pulling slightly wider than hip distance, walk the hands away and sink the chest down. Ears are between your arms, so you've got a neutral head position to start with. When you're ready, hover the knees, so set loaded beast. Lift the hips up high, so hips high, heels high, and around the spine forward. So think about tucking the chin to the chest and leading with your hump, rounding the spine. When you can't come forward anymore, the hips will start to lower. Your glutes will start to engage, so squeeze the glutes. The chest lifts, the gaze lifts. And here is where you really need to push the floor away. Yeah, the shoulder blades are going as wide as possible. Going back, chin to chest. Now push the floor away with the hands. Push the floor away with the hands to round the spine. Keep pushing the floor away, keep pushing the floor away, keep pushing the floor away. As you take the hips back up, hips high, heels high, tail towards the sky, neutral head position, and then bend the knees back down to your loaded beast. And you can rest the knees at the bottom like I'm doing before we go again. So set loaded beast, wave and load, hips high, heels high, lead with the hump, chin to chest. Lowering the hips down, squeezing the glutes, stops you hanging out in the lower back. Lifting the chin, pushing the floor away. Reverse, chin to chest. Push with the hands to round the upper back, mid back, lower back. Taking the hips high, heels high, hips high. Tail to the ceiling, neutral head position. That just means ears between arms, and then return to loaded beast. And release the legs down. From there, straight into, what's it called? Unload. So you're just going straight out and straight back. There's no lifting of the hips this time. And the knees stay an inch off the floor. So when you're ready, set loaded beast. Unload, chin to chest, tail tucked, knees low. Your knees are not going to straighten. Glutes on, tucking the tail as much as you can. Push with the toes to see if you can get your shoulders in front of your wrists. And then we go straight back, keeping the knees low, straight back to loaded beast. Go again, unload. Knees low, tail tucked, chin tucked. If you can push with the toes to go a little bit further forward, and then go straight back, loaded beast, and release the knees. And you're going to do one more, and just because I've just got you, I could come watch. Do it, Nick, do it. Set loaded beast, unload, go for it. Nice work with the knees. Crikey, that's amazing. Good for you. Yeah. And then return to loaded beast. Good, amazing. Let's go into, from there, beast unload. What's it called? It's the one where we pick the leg up. There's a blah, brain not working. I'm going to call it, oh, beast reach, beast reach. It's the one where we pick the leg up. So the hips are going up, the legs going up with it, right? So we've got our loaded beast. When you're ready, set loaded beast, knees off the floor, right leg, beast reach. So as you lift the hips, the right knee is tucking into the chest. From there, you're going to tuck your chin like you're trying to put your knee on your nose and your nose on your knee. So you've got that round position. As you progress forward, the knee comes to the outside of the elbow, either on or just above. And then look forward. That's your last point. To go back, chin to chest, knee to nose, push back with the arms, reach that high position, neutral head position again. So you let that position go. And then as you lower the knees, keep the foot off the floor for the longest time, and then all the way back to loaded beast. So same on the other side, left leg beast reach. When you're ready, set loaded beast, knees lifted, lift the hips, taking the heel to your bottom, chin, knee to chest. Then tuck nose to knee, knee to nose. Start to progress forward. Knee to the outside of the elbow, press it in and lift the gaze. Going back, chin to chest, knee to nose, push back with the arms, reach that high spot, and then lower back down to your loaded beast and release the knees. Oh, definitely need to get rid of this for this. I'm rattling through them today, so we've got scorpion reach to do. So from our loaded beast, so when we do scorpion reach from loaded beast, it's the one where we take the knee to the opposite wrist before it goes up and around, and then it comes back the same way to the wrist, and then back to loaded beast. So we'll go left leg first. So set loaded beast, left leg, scorpion reach. So we're going to bring left knee to right wrist, drive it in, and then leading with the toes. Take the leg up and around as you push back, finishing off with opening the hips and that rotation. And then we've got our checkpoints here, pushing the floor away, trying to close the gap between the ears and your shoulders. My right heel is lifted, my right knee is bent, and the heel is slightly to the right. You can find that little bit of extra rotation through the hips. Make sure the elbows are straight, and then return the same way. Leg goes way out to the side and comes across, drives into the right wrist, and then we go back to our loaded beast. Even I think my voice sounds dreadful. We do the other side. I wish you hadn't come this morning. I don't really. I'm actually enjoying this. It's good to move. Right, so right leg, whatever it's called, scorpion reach. So same again, set loaded beast, drive right knee to left wrist, drive it in, really press, turning the leg out, lead with the toes, up, out, around, and then over, checkpoints, ears and shoulders trying to touch, left leg, bent, heel lifted, and then you're really trying to get that right hip even more up to the ceiling. I'm really trying to lift my right hip bone, but my elbows have to stay straight. So my shoulders are square, it's my hips that are twisting. And then reverse, leg out to the side, over to the left wrist, squeeze it in, and then reset back to loaded beast, and then lower the knees. Well, this is exciting. Let's do crab reach. And then we've done all the form specific stretches all in one session, which is pretty impressive. So find your nice proud crab. So crab reach, we know we need to walk the feet out a little bit, right? We need that little bit of extra space. Otherwise, set crab, lifting the hips up off the floor. Let's go left arm crab reach. So left hand in front of the face. Push the hips or drive the hips up towards the ceiling first. So I'm trying to stay relatively square. Once I've reached that top position, just check in with your feet. Toes equally weighted. You're not rolling in or out. And then as you reach the arm overhead, think about trying to stack that left shoulder on top of the right shoulder. So it's the complete reverse of your scorpion this time. The hips are now square and the shoulders are rotating. Return back to the ceiling, head and hand, and then lower the hips back down. Put the left hand down. You can have a moment just to reset if you like. Always useful. Find a good crab, nice proud crab. Push the ball away to lift the hips. Right hand crab reach, so right hand in front of the face. Lift the hips and start off with the head and the hand towards the ceiling. Make sure the hips are as open as you can get them. Then the hand reaches, framing the head, looking down at the bottom hand. And then see if you can push. I actually push the floor away with my bottom hand to try and twist my right shoulder on top of my left. Return to the ceiling and then lower the hips all the way back down and breathe a sigh of relief. Let's do front kick, front step and front step through. In fact, we'll do both. We'll do side kick through and also front step, just to give you some variation, direction and that kind of stuff. So let's start off in beast. And let's just warm up our side kick through. So it's half an under switch. I'm going to go left. If you want to face the camera or you want to face the same direction, either way is fine. I'm going to go left like side kick through, so I face you. So the left foot and the right hand lift. You rotate halfway, the heel's still lifted at that point. The big toes come together. The heel comes down as a break. The foot reaches out or the leg kicks out and the elbow pulls back and high. Now, if you can see me, Nick, you'll see what I'm trying to do with this front shoulder is twist. So I'm really trying to get that front shoulder to go forward, and that's actually probably the hardest part. It's here, that's fine. But if you can reach the shoulder forward, the hips will lower. So instead of being high, you'll be nice and low. And then going back, lift the heel, bend the leg, and return to beast. I'm trying to think of a good way to show you. I'll go this way. So let's do the other side. Right leg side kick through. So set beast. Right leg, left hand, lift. Apply the brake. Kick the leg out, pull the elbow. And you can see how high my hips are here. But if I let the body kind of rotate, twist, the hips will drop slightly. And then pulling back, lift the brake, big toes come together, and then rotate back to your beast position. Yeah. That action of this is probably the hardest part because we don't often have an awful lot of strength with the shoulder being forward. And that's why we do it. We're trying to build strength in those different ranges of movement. So let's go again on each side, a little bit quicker so we're not having to break it down as much. Let's just do one each side. So set beast, left leg side kick through. As much twist as you can, which might not be a lot right now. It's not for me either. And then return to beast. Same on the other side, right leg side kick through. And return to beast. And lower the hips, no, knees. Whichever body part is floating, lower it down. Right, so we're going to go into front step and then front step through. And I did this with the guys yesterday in the session. And it was a good little workout. So we're going to do that. And I'm probably going to die. But we need to be in loaded beast. So let's just practice the front step first. We'll go left leg front step. So walk the hands away. When you're ready, set loaded beast, knees hover. Left leg front step. So big step wide, and the arm is pulling into my ribs away, so it gets out of the way. When you go back, you want to try and get the hand down as the foot lifts. So it looks like this. And then release the knees at the back. Yeah, well done. Good. Right, let's do the other side. So set loaded beast, right leg front step, hand lifts as the foot lands. Good. And then pull the elbow back. Yeah, back behind you. So let me find a better position to show you. It's that action. Just getting it right out of the way. When we step through, we bring it forward. But here, it comes out of the way. Step, going back, hand and foot. Come back to your loaded beast. Yeah? Good, good. All right, so it's learning about movement windows again. We have done this briefly. It's the same action of kicking with the leg, but instead of the leg kicking out to the side, it's going to kick forward. Turn out, foot pointed, the same thing, but it's all forward. So let's just give it a bash and we'll work out where we need to be if we don't have a big enough window. So reaching the arms away, set loaded beast. Let's go left leg. So left leg front step, exactly the same as before, lifting the hand up. Then we're going to take the elbow in front. So it just goes from pulling back to the ribs in front. And that's the only way we're going to be able to get through. And they're going to bring the right leg through and kick it forward. That's it. Going back, that right leg now has to go all the way back to that lunge position. So you're going to push the floor away, take it back all the way back. And then this hand goes again. So the hand and the foot change positions at the same time. Hand and foot back to your loaded beast. And release down. Well done. Good. Amazing. Right, let's do the other side and then we'll kind of speed it up a little bit so it's not quite as bitty. So same again, set loaded beast. Right leg front step. Big step. Elbow pulling back. Guard position. That's it. And then bring the elbow in front so that you can step through and kick the leg. Remember, going back, that leg has to go all the way back. That's it. And then hand and foot, roughly at the same time, back to your loaded beast. Marvelous. Right. So we broke it down there, which again makes it harder. So with this one, it's one of those, you've got the form specific stretches where you've the wave and the pull and the push and all that kind of stuff. And then the kind of slow and controlled for the most part. This is one of the ones where you need a bit of oomph to carry you through, right? So I'm just going to show you what I mean. When you're learning, it's slow anyway, but you want to kind of progress to add in a little bit of oomph. So if I do right leg front step, it's here, it's straight back, and it's straight back. I'm trying not to hang around, because if you slow it down, it makes it really hard work. So the challenge, we're going to do 5 on each leg. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Don't worry about doing them at any kind of speed. Go at your own pace. I'll still call it and I'll try and stick with you. All right, so 5 each side. This was hard work yesterday. I wish I'd just said 3, but anyway, here we go. So set loaded beast. Let's go right leg first for a change. Right leg front step, through, back to loaded beast. Left leg front step, nice and wide, nice and long, through. You've got it. Back to loaded beast. Right leg front step, through. Back to loaded beast. Left leg front step, through. Back to loaded beast. Right leg front step, through. Back to loaded beast. Left leg front step, through. Back to loaded beast. Right leg front step, through, back to loaded beast, left leg front step, through, back to loaded beast, last one, right leg front step, through, back to loaded beast, last one, left leg front step, through, back to loaded beast, and rest. Oh. Power, strength, all that good stuff. Right, let's have a little floor to finish off. Let's start in crab. And we'll come into a full scorpion. Yeah, just slow it down slightly. Once we've finished panting and sweating. All right, so set crab. Lifting the hips. Let's go left leg, full scorpion. So the left leg is going to travel under, up and around. Right arm coming over. Leading with the toes. Same rules. Right heel is lifted, right knee is bent. I'm trying to stack my hips. Elbows are straight, pushing the floor away. To come all the way over, we straighten the right leg. Pivot the foot coming onto the edge of the foot. It's not flat, it's on the edge. And the hand is the last thing to come over. You're into that modified crab position with the elbow on the inside of your leg. From there, we're going to tuck the right leg. So it's going to be a right leg, what do you call it? Under switch, back to crab. So right leg under switch will take you through beast. And then left leg under switch will take you back to your crab. Or back to where we started. So this time, right leg, full scorpion. So the right leg is going to travel under, left arm is going to travel over, pivot in on the toes, take the leg up and around. Same rules, pushing the floor away, left heel lifted, left knee bent, stacking the hips. Then straighten your left legs, keeping the heel up, pivot onto the edge of the foot, keep reaching the hand down towards the floor for the longest time, coming all the way over, toes pointed towards the ceiling. Good, well done. Yeah, not bad at all. So from there, I'm just shifting because I've not got enough room to finish this off. So left leg under switch will take you through beast. To the right leg under switch will take you back to your crab. Well done. Good, not bad as a cool down. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're actually doing all right for time. Right, great. In which case, let's go. I'll teach you the slide. Let's go back to our loaded beast. We're going to do 2 step throughs, one on each side. And then on the last one, we're going to switch it up a little bit. So reaching the arms away, set loaded beast. We're going to go right leg front step. So right leg front step, nice and wide, elbow pulling back. Elbow comes in front to left leg through, and then back to loaded beast. So just as we've been doing, back to your loaded beast. Left leg front step, elbow pulling back, elbow comes in front for your right leg to come through and kick. Back to your loaded beast. From there, we're going to slide. You can rest your knees down. I'll explain what we're doing. We're going to slide to a left leg side kick through. So if I'm in loaded beast here, I need to come to beast to be able to do a left leg side kick through. So it looks like this. I can't slide on this floor, so it's a little bit of a step. So loaded beast, I'm going to slide my right foot forward and lift my left foot up, so that it then allows me to go straight into a side kick through. So if I call left leg side kick through, you know it's the left leg that needs to be off the floor to kick. Left leg side kick through, left leg off the floor, which means the right foot needs to be down. It gets mind-boggling with the left and right. So I'll do it again. So I'm here, I'm going to call from loaded beast to left leg side kick through. So my knees are hovered. I come forward. I hop the right leg forward, picking up the left. It stays off the ground so that I can then do the left leg side kick through. That's it. So going back, I come back to beast, and then I hop back to my loaded beast. So then slide to right leg side kick through, come forward, hop the left leg forward, right leg off the floor, to allow me to do a right leg side kick through. Coming back through beast, I hop back to my loaded beast. And rest. Well done. It's kind of throwing that in right at the end. It was a bit unfair. Oh, we're going to finish off with the pretzel. We just have to. So lying down on one side. Same as usual. Top leg, bottom ankle. Pull the bottom leg back out of the way. And opening the chest. And then if you can, tuck the tailbone under. You could call it tucking the tail or flattening the lower back, however you want to describe it. I have no chance of controlling my breathing this morning. And then slowly unravel yourself. And we'll do the other side. I'm turning over so you can kind of see the other side, or those on the replay can see the other side. So ankle, pulling the leg back, opening the chest, and then actively tucking the tail. So I'm not just hanging out in my lower back, like my ribs thrust forward. I'm tucking the tail. Which will give me more stretch down the front of the leg. I don't know about you, Nick, but my top knee, so the knee that's pulling up to my chest, I kind of kickstand my toes on the floor. It's almost like it gives me, I don't know, it stops me going into the stretch. See if you can put the side of your foot down on the floor, which might allow you to just get the knee down. That might just be me. I figure if I'm doing it, somebody else might be. And then slowly release, unravel. And we are done. I'm going to scoot towards you. Stop the recording and see how we get on. How did you get on with all of that?
Fantastic. I'm not very coordinated, so like when we're doing the kick throughs, I've no idea what my arms are doing. I'm like, oh.
I'm exactly the same. I've never been any good at aerobics and dance and stuff like that because I just can't coordinate my arms and legs. So it's why I kind of go really, really slow, because I think it took me ages to get it, over a really long period of time. So I do feel for you.
Yeah, I can't believe how when we did the 5 on each side, my heart rate, I was sweating and panting. So what's she doing to me?
Well, I did it yesterday and I thought 5, that's a reasonable number, 5's okay. And you get to 3, first 2, you kind of like, it's all right. Get to 3 and think, oh, this is kind of, and then 4 and 5, you're just like, oh my God, just flinging yourself through it.
And when we slowed down the lift one arm, one leg, I was swaying like I was on a boat. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. It just showed those activations where you have the opposite arm and leg, and you cannot control how much rotation you've got through your body. It really shows up just how uncontrolled we are through the core.
Yeah.
When you see people that have been practicing for years and years and they're rock solid, and I just think, wow, it looks amazing. Anyway, that's where we're headed eventually.
Thank you with me. Thank you.
Oh, don't be daft, it's fine. I need patience from my own teachers, so I understand completely.
I'm doing the 2023 challenge as well because I don't race anymore. I've got no focus. So when you posted that, I thought that's a good idea. And it really like, oh, I don't want to swim today, but I need those cumulative miles in there. It really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so behind because of the skiing. And then since I've come back, I've just been snowed under with work and working evenings as well. So I've just not been able to get out. So I'm going to be doing 20 miles a day at some point. Try and catch up.
I don't run very far anymore, so at least I can make it up with a walk or so obviously swimming's different, but
yeah, swimming, walking, running, I think they all count. They're all they're all miles that you are having to do with your own body. I don't think you need to run them all. I won't be running them all, definitely. So
like 5.5 miles a day.
Yeah, it works out about that. It's not too bad.
No, because I tend to run 3 or 4 and either go for a swim or go for a little walk. So yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, it is doable. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, that's all right. I will. Am I seeing you tomorrow? Last one tomorrow this week. Yeah, great stuff. All right, we'll see you then. See you later.
Bye.